Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. This time we're taking a look at ElevenLabs, and honestly, this stuff is pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, you sent over some articles, and I gotta say, ElevenLabs is doing some seriously cool stuff.
Right, we're talking AI voices, but like way beyond what we're used to. Forget that robotic sound.
Totally. This is about creating AI voices that sound incredibly natural.
And it seems like they're getting a ton of buzz, especially with this new Conversational AI Agents feature.
Yeah, that's cutting edge stuff.
So for our listeners who maybe haven't heard of ElevenLabs yet, let's start with the basics. What exactly do they do?
Well, at its core, ElevenLabs is all about creating synthetic voices, but not just any voices.
Right, not the ones that make you cringe when you hear them.
Exactly. These are voices that are practically indistinguishable from real human voices.
I think one of the articles mentioned they use deep learning. Right?
Yeah, some serious AI horsepower. They train their models on massive amounts of voice data, capturing all the nuances of human speech.
So it's not just about getting the words right. It's about the tone, the emotion, everything that makes a voice truly human.
Exactly. Think about how a good storyteller can captivate you with their voice. ElevenLabs is trying to replicate that with AI.
And that could have some pretty amazing applications.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine audiobooks that actually sound like they're being read by a real person.
Or think about customer service. So much of that is about conveying empathy and understanding.
Right, and with a more natural-sounding voice, those interactions could become so much more effective.
Okay, so we've got the wow factor down. But let's get practical for a minute. How does someone actually use ElevenLabs?
It's surprisingly easy. You sign up on their platform, type in the text you want to be spoken, and then choose a voice from their library.
They have a whole library of voices.
Oh, yeah, a huge selection.
Yeah.
And you can even tweak things like pitch and speed to get the exact sound you're looking for.
That's really cool. I also remember reading something about an API. What's that all about?
Ah, that's where things get really interesting for developers.
Okay, tell me more.
So the API basically lets developers integrate ElevenLabs technology into their own projects.
So you could use it to give a voice to a chatbot, for example.
Exactly. Or you could use it in video games, educational software, you name it.
It's like this technology suddenly opens up all these new possibilities for how we interact with computers.
Totally. And that brings us to those conversational AI agents we mentioned earlier. This is where things get really futuristic.
Right, because now we're not just talking about generating speech, we're talking about AI that can actually hold a conversation.
And that's a big leap. It's all about creating AI agents that can understand what you're saying and respond in a natural, human-like way.
So it's like going from a one-way street to an actual dialogue.
Exactly. It's about making those interactions feel more dynamic, more engaging.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued. So what makes these conversational AI agents so special? What sets them apart?
Well, for starters, there's the real-time aspect, meaning these agents can respond to you instantly, just like you'd expect in a normal conversation.
No more waiting around for the computer to catch up.
Nope. And then there's the level of personalization that's possible.
Oh, like customizing the voice.
Exactly. You can choose different accents, adjust the tone, even give the agent a unique personality.
So it's like having a virtual assistant or character that's tailored to your specific preferences.
Precisely. And they're also working on making these agents multilingual, which is huge for breaking down communication barriers.
Wow, so many possibilities. And if I remember correctly, these agents can actually learn over time.
You got it. They can remember past interactions and adapt their responses based on the context of the conversation.
So it's not just about pre-programmed responses. They can actually evolve and become more sophisticated.
Right. And that opens up some really exciting possibilities like personalized learning tools or even AI companions that truly understand you.
Okay, I'm officially blown away. But let's bring it back to Earth for a second. Where could we actually see these conversational AI agents being used? What are some real-world applications?
Well, the potential is pretty much limitless, but I think customer service is a big one.
I can see that. Imagine getting help from a company and actually feeling like you're talking to a human who understands your problem.
Exactly. And then there's education. Think about interactive learning tools that can engage students in a whole new way.
Right. And, of course, we can't forget about entertainment. I can see these agents being used in video games, virtual reality experiences, all sorts of things.
Absolutely. This technology has the potential to revolutionize the way we interact with computers, and honestly, I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.
It's incredible to think that we could be moving towards a future where interacting with AI feels as natural as talking to another person.
And it all goes back to that core idea of creating AI voices that are truly human-like.
Well, for our listeners, I think the takeaway here is that ElevenLabs is a company to watch. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI, and the implications are pretty profound.
I totally agree.
It makes you wonder, now that we've cracked the code on making AI sound human, what's the next big breakthrough in how we communicate with machines?
That's a great question, and one we'll all be watching closely, I'm sure.
Definitely. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See ya!